Day one of the EU summit's been and gone, and it was dominated by Russian migrants, trade and Brexit. Today we'll see more discussions, but the EU's embarking on a difficult period with Britain at its heart. And the Brexit negotiations could have huge repercussions for the remaining 27 EU members. Theresa May laid out her plans for taking Britain out of the EU, and everyone heard a list of Russian attempts to destabilise the Union.
Leaders emphasized all sorts of Russian activities, from airspace violations, disinformation campaigns, cyber attacks, interference into the political processes in the EU and beyond, hybrid tools in the Balkans, to developments in the MH17 investigation. Given these examples, it is clear that Russia's strategy is to weaken the EU.
Sanctions were discussed, with opinion divided as to whether more were needed in the wake of the latest Syrian airstrikes.
In my eyes, no room for additional sanctions. You need unanimity. There is also no room of maneuver for lifting the sanctions. I find this correct, because as long as the Minsk agreement is not entirely applied, we should not lift the sanctions.
Migration policy needs to be strengthened, and members heard this had to include economic and trade cooperation with Africa to succeed, along with more repatriations of failed economic migrants and tighter border security. International trade agreements were also discussed, especially the soon-to-be-signed one with Canada, which has run into a last-minute snag. According to press reports, the EU member states are ready to give new guarantees to Wallonia so that the Belgian region accepts the trade deal between Europe and Canada. The talks are at the level of ambassadors. If there's an agreement, the heads of states and governments will approve this on Friday.
Uniós állam- és kormányfők hagyhatják jóvá a döntést. Zsíros Sándor, Euronews, Brüsszel.